Hello and good evening to you all. A very warm welcome to you all on this platform. A very warm welcome to all of you, all the students present here. I really hope that you all are doing well. And today we have a very special segment for you all. As you all know that we have had the recent UGC NET GRF examination, and the long awaited results are even out, and we have had a really amazing result at Ecoholics, and which is why we thought that we should engage with the students and also explain a variety of logics which were asked in this time's paper for UGC NET paper 2 economics. So we are going to crack the code for variety of questions which were asked in this paper, and I hope that these logics and the variety of things that we are going to suggest to you all are definitely going to be helpful to you all in the study for not just this examination but for all the various types of examinations with regards to economics. I'm also going to um, meanwhile um, answer your queries and questions. A very good evening to everyone present here. Thank you so much for being here today with us. And as we are going to discuss about few of the questions that were asked, so this would be like a regular thing, and we are going to meet at regular intervals every weekend, so that we can discuss a few logics and a few things with regards to UGC NET paper. Now, the very first thing that I would like to suggest to you all is be patient. Now this examination which is conducted tests your teaching ability, teaching aptitude, reading comprehension, reasoning, and all those different things. But more importantly, it also tests you on what you are really, really good at, your skill, your core skill. And in this perspective, we deal with economics. So, as economics students, I think we all must be really, really inquisitive and very aware about the surroundings, because economics is very dynamic, and because of the dynamic nature of economics, every time the paper pattern changes, so you cannot compare the previous year question paper to the next year question paper. However, we can note the very intricacies, or some small details that have been covered in the present year question paper, which might be really, really good for us to study for the future, right? So which is why it's really, really going to be useful for you all. It's really amazing that you all have come to this platform today, and let us start with the segment of learning, and really the interesting journey of how we can develop on various logics specifically to the various questions that were asked. So today, typically, I have taken the questions that I have taken are all the match the following questions. So this time in the paper pattern, we have seen that there are a variety of match the following questions that were asked. And believe it or not, while doing the match the following questions in a competitive examination is totally different from you doing a match the following question in general, generally. So it's very important for you all to understand the logic behind how to crack the code, or how to interestingly bring your best to find out the best solution, or the most appropriate solution to the to this particular examination. Okay, so let us begin with today's discussion. Okay, all right. So here we go with cracking the code and decoding all the various logics that we can find in the paper for UGC NET economics. All right. Also, I would like to say, all right. So we today what we are going to do is we are going to technically decode the various aspects of the paper, and specifically our main focus is going to be on the match the following questions. Now we are going to also have a small video of 5 minutes wherein we are going to discuss about from which section what all concepts were taken, or what was the weightage of various concepts or various subtopics of the syllabus, from which segment that were taken. So we are going to have another separate recorded video for that, so you can definitely look at that video and you can find out what was the weightage. But I would like to tell you that when we come to weightage specifically with relations to paper 2, so what they do is, this we have observed since last 3 years, since the paper pattern for specific this examination has changed, that it is not, the weightage does not vary a lot. You will look at the question paper and you'll see that the weightage for whether it is microeconomics or macroeconomics or growth and development remains the same. However, specifically something that a student is asking is, yes, from a particular subject there might be some major weightage which would be given to a subtopic. Something like from microeconomics, consumer behavior theory is going to be given some major weightage, or maybe welfare economics would be given some major weightage. So for that, do watch our another video which is going to be uploaded very soon, so that it is going to just give you a glimpse of what was the weightage and what was the weightage of all various topics in the syllabus, and with regards to the subtopics that were asked. Okay. Now let us start with the discussion of these various questions that were asked in the match the following pattern. Now over here you can look at this very first question that we have taken. Okay, although we do not have a certain space, but still I'll be trying to get a certain space so that actually I can draw some diagram as well. Okay. For yes, before I begin, for all the information that you would want to for all the information that you want for joining any batch, you can just inquire that on the link that is given, and there the phone number is also given, so you can always inquire that in that particular you can use that information box underneath this video below the description, and you can definitely inquire that through the direct calling that we have, okay, through our website. So you'll get the direct information for that. All right, now let us begin with this interesting question number 1. Effectiveness of, now I'm going to read the list 2 first. Okay, this is how it's very easy for you all to identify what exactly how exactly you should do a certain question, specifically with relations to match the following. Now in match the following, there are chances, high chances, that you at least know one answer correctly. Okay, there are high chances. I'm not saying that you do not know anything. I'm saying that there are high chances that at least one of the answer or one of the match you know correctly without any doubt. Okay, so pick that and then analyze all the other. However, I also every time I suggest my students in all my classes, that never look at the answers, okay, because they just confuse you. So do not look at the answers, do not look at the solutions. First try and find out your own self that, okay, what is the match, and then try to come up with the solution. Then try to look at the solution box. Okay, my match has been correctly matched in the solution box, so that is preferably the right answer. Okay, now let us look at here: Laffer curve, deadweight law, Coase theorem, game theory. Now deadweight law, Coase theorem and game theory, all these topics are from the very end of the microeconomic syllabus, which means welfare economics and environmental economics are the even not environmental economics very if you would not say very focusedly, but yes, they all of them are actually a part of your welfare economics. So, and I actually found while analyzing the paper that there were a few questions of welfare economics. So this time there have been a few questions of welfare economics which were not that many present in the last year paper. So you can definitely foresee a major incoming of welfare economics and environmental economics core conceptual questions in even the futuristic papers, right? So here's your first cue. Now, yes, I look at there are various people who have answered this very correctly. So let us go to the logic directly. Now, Laffer curve out of these three is the most different one, and Laffer curve is given by Arthur Laffer, and it gives the relationship between the tax rate and the tax revenue. So you all must know that there is um, a Laffer curve is made something like this. Okay, do not, okay, I might be making this Laffer curve on my own face, so just give me a second. I'm going to erase this and I'm going to make it a little over my head so that you all can see it. Just give me a second. Okay, so let me make it over here somewhere. Now, on the normally this is not a graphical way in which you present, but still you can say that yes, Laffer curve is represented graphically. Laffer curve actually is a graphical representation of elasticity of tax. Okay, so tax elasticity can actually be graphically represented by this Laffer curve, and it is stated that there is an inverted U shape of this Laffer curve. So typically it states that over here on the baseline or the x-axis you have 0%. This is x-axis represents your tax rate, okay, which starts from 0% to 100%. Okay, so you can understand it like a horizontal line which starts from 0% and ends at 100%, between which you have the tax rate. Okay, and here you have the tax revenue, all right, or tax collection, and then you have a maximum or optimum point. I'm sorry for this bulge. Okay, this bulge is just because my pen might be sliding a bit, but yeah, you cannot you can even draw this curve without a bulge. Realistically, of course, things do not happen very smoothly like we draw in the curves. So now interestingly, what has been stated in the Laffer curve is that two wrong questions were not removed. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Even I had found some small mistakes in the one of the few questions, but yeah, okay. Which is the best university of Dehradun in PhD? Well, this is a very specific question. Kindly mail us to the Ecoholics website, through the Ecoholics website, and we'll get back to you with a list of various institutions of doing PhD. Okay, so you can get that from there. Okay, sorry for the network issue. We'll continue. Right, so this is an increasing range and that is the decreasing range, and this is basically a growth maintaining range. So between, it's stated that between this range of growth maintaining and revenue maximization, you have the optimum level of taxation. Okay, and it is just a very realistic theory which states which suggests that if government would put a tax beyond a certain points, beyond a certain maximum point, in an economy, then obviously the revenue collection is going to decline, because more and more people are going to be discouraged to pay taxes, and which is why it is going to lead to money laundering and tax avoidance and tax evasion and all these various things. Okay, so this is again a very different concept than whatever we have presently over here. Now let me erase this quickly. And so Laffer curve directly represents the point B, right? And so we have B and 1. Now B and 1 have 3 other combinations, so which is why we also look at the other things. Now we also have a very technical concept which is known as deadweight loss. Now Coase theorem, of course, we all know that it is related to the private market and externalities, so it directly goes over here. And game theory, of course, dominant strategy, tit for tat strategy, prisoner's dilemma, all such various strategies are going to be a part of game theory. So this is again a very direct match the following. And then you have deadweight loss. Now for deadweight loss, a very basic concept that has been given is controlling prices through effective price ceiling and price floor. So I'll just give you an example for what exactly means deadweight loss. When you talk about deadweight loss, it just basically means that when a certain effective price ceiling, okay, which means that a seller cannot go beyond this price to sell the commodity, and a effective price floor means the seller cannot go beyond or below that price level to along the prices, okay, to sell the goods. So that represents the controlling of the price level, and this type of a controlling of price level actually induces a gap between demand and supply, which is a natural phenomena of demand and supply. So this deadweight loss, which means a certain interference or intervention by the government, so that the consumer and the producer both are in a win-win situation and no one can get advantage over the other, for that particular reason, and specifically with relations to merit goods, sin goods, and something like some taxes on sin goods, this type of a scenario, the deadweight loss is being the deadweight loss is normally generated. Just to give you a small example of it is that, I'll just give you a small example. Let us say that there is a certain socially preferable commodity. For example, a certain maintenance of a certain park, or an environmental friendly product, or a certain product which uses less of energy, is a socially acceptable and a socially approved commodity, which definitely is going to generate more welfare. So for such type of a commodity which generates more social welfare, the government is going to try to induce a certain control of prices, so that that particular commodity would not be overrated, okay, or underrated. So for that reason, let us say for that particular commodity you have aggregate demand and aggregate supply, okay, and the natural or organic equilibrium price is something like this. You have EP over here and you have equilibrium quantity over here. Okay, now because it is a socially very acceptable and approved type of a commodity, which is maybe in the future it is going to be really, really beneficial for the society and welfare. So for that matter, the government controls the prices and puts effective price ceiling, and effective price ceiling would be lower than the equilibrium price. Okay, so let us say this is the effective price ceiling that has been put. Okay, effective price ceiling, or EPC. Now over here you can look that what happened because of this effective price ceiling. There is an aggregate demand excess and a shortage of aggregate supply. Do you agree? There is an aggregate demand excess and a shortage of aggregate supply, and because of which we have this triangle over here, the triangle over here, which basically means dead weight loss. Okay, so the welfare loss for the sellers, or the welfare loss if this particular effective price ceiling would not be put, so the welfare loss in such a way would be stated as deadweight loss, and which is also denoted by this triangle. Normally this concept is used in the terms of externalities, public goods, again welfare economics. Okay, so this is what is the concept of deadweight loss. So now bringing in the next question quickly. Okay. Okay. Now again, I have of course the correct answer was indeed 1, which means A goes to the third. Effectiveness of private market in dealing with externalities is Coase theorem, and then the relationship between increase in tax rate and tax revenue is Laffer curve. Then dominant strategy goes to game theory, and of course controlling prices through effective price ceiling and price floor goes to deadweight loss. Okay. Then we have the second question which we have is another list which again is totally dedicated to international economics, and we have these variety of theorems over here. There is Ripchinsky's theorem, then Metzler effect, and Metzler paradox. Both of them you know sound quite similar, although there's a certain concept that that deviates from what Metzler effect actually is, but still you can find it in the options, so it's good. Stolper-Samuelson theorem, and of course immiscerizing growth theory, which was started by Professor Jagdish Bhagwati initially, and then of course it got propounded later. So yeah. Okay, before that, should I also read some suggestions and some live chat over here? Okay. All right. So no questions for me, I believe, over here. Okay, I have an interesting question over here. How to score high in economics? Which means okay, right. How to score high in economics? Now, this is a very interesting question. The very important point is when you divide your whole section. Now, before going to the examination hall, be prepared and be planned that you have to solve these many questions correctly. So meanwhile, you're subconsciously training your brain that देखो इतने questions तो ठीक होने ही चाहिए. It actually impacts a lot, believe me, because this is the way in which you can plan your brain. Now this of course cannot be done without enough practice and enough revision, so you cannot go blank headed and then you can say ठीक है I have planned. So that of course is not done. But yes, if you've done enough practice, enough revision of all these various things, then definitely you have to plan that out of those 50 questions from paper 1, at least I have to get 40 right. So what is my margin? What is the margin of error that I'm going to make? Again, the next one would be paper 2. What is the margin that I have to importantly look at? How many questions can I maximum lose out? Because every question, per question, you gain 2 marks, so which means that there is a lot of scope. So planning your questions beforehand will definitely give you and sometimes students say that okay, yes, I'm going to also say something in Hindi. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है that some students get anxiety, and many times that happen. All students can get anxiety, कि हम कैसे solve करेंगे, and will things go as per our planning. So एंजाइटी तभी आती है जब आप हाफ प्रिपेयर्ड रहते हो, यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड दैट मच. ओके, एंड द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वे और वेरी नाइस वे टू let your brain decide what exact are you really prepared or not, which definitely would mean that you जैसे आपने पूरा बुक पढ़ा, ठीक है, you read a book or you read your notes, you have made your notes, आपने पूरे notes पढ़ लिए, you read all your notes. Now the very best thing to do is close the book and just in your mind, in your head, revise it. on first page, this was written on second page, this was written on third page, this is a very, very good therapy. This is a very good way in which you increase your memory power, you learn things, you remember things, your retention increases. And of course your retention increases not just till you know blurt out all the information in your competitive examination, but you remember it for a very long period of time. Okay, so this is a very good trick that you all can follow. This always is going to be a meditative theory, or meditative therapy in which you can learn the question. Yes, of course. In the live batches that we have, we also solve questions of econometrics, Vikram, and also for the solving of econometrics questions in the doubt solving sessions for these economics for this paper. We'll have some other sessions also in the coming weekends. Okay, so we'll also have these doubt solving sessions and econometrics questions solved in the weekends, and we all regularly have those in our live classes. So yeah. Okay, now coming back to this question that we have of international economics. Now something that you can definitely understand over here is all of them look very similar. Okay, all of them look very similar, so you have to find out the intricate details. The very first one is Rybczynski's the very first one is Rybczynski's theorem, and Rybczynski's theorem can be matched from among all these various options over here. Okay, I am simultaneously also looking at these various remarks that you're giving. Okay, all right. So let us try to put focus on the point A. Okay, now Rybczynski's theorem can be stated as how the changes in various endowments, okay, how the changes in endowments of what? Of the factors of production. Okay, factors of production means what? Your labor and capital. So how the changes in the endowments of these factors affect the output, okay, of goods, specifically when full employment is achieved. Okay, now for giving you a small example of it, it just means that let us say that there are two economies, and one is producing cloth and the other is producing your let us say cars. Okay, so one commodity is labor intensive, so we have cloth which is labor intensive and cars are capital intensive. Okay, now over here let us make this diagram. Okay, let us say that here we have cloth on the x-axis, which is labor intensive. Li is going to represent as labor intensive, and y-axis we have cars which are capital intensive. Okay, which are capital intensive. Now for so when we'll draw the curves for labor intensive and capital intensive, because this is on the x-axis, so here while drawing, let's say this is rather a steeper curve. Okay, and for labor intensive we have, let's say, a flatter curve. Okay, and let's say this is a point, this is the point A at which you have the interaction of both the commodities production, and you have a certain price. Okay, now because a certain change in the endowment of labor intensity, okay, or because of the changes in the factor which is labor, there might be a shift in the curve which represents the let us say this is your L and this is your C. Okay, so this LL is going to change and shift to rightward side because there is a factor endowment shift or increase in the factor endowment for labor. So the labor curve has shifted to the right side, which means there's an increase. Obviously capital curve or capital constraint has not shifted. You can also call these labor constraint and capital constraint. Okay, now we have a point over here which is known as B. So now you can see over here that I have a very lack of space, but I believe that it will be manageable for you all to look at least what I'm making you understand. So on point A, we had, let's say, the production of cloth. We can say the cloth is stated by C. Okay, I'll not say C. Let's say cloth is represented by B. Excuse me. Okay, the cloth is represented by B, and your ओहो बी भी यूज हो चुका है सॉरी ओके टी ले लेते हैं okay T, and you have cars which are represented by R. Okay, so from A point to B point, definitely there has been a change in the output for cloth. So T से T1 आ गए. However, over here you have a fall in the production of cars, simply because the factor endowment or labor endowment had been increased. So definitely there will be a positive impact on the commodities that have been produced from that factor, and there will be a negative effect on those commodities which have been produced by the other factor endowment which has not increased. So this is a very simple concept for Ripchinsky's theorem. Okay, and which definitely is given by the effect of factor growth on the production and trade. Okay, the effect of factor growth on the production and trade. Then you have Metzler effect. Now Metzler effect is also known as the Haberger Lorzer-Metzler effect. Basically it just says that if there is an imposition of tariff on the imports, okay, if there is an imposition of tariff on the imports, tariffs on imports, then what will be the effect of it? There will be a relative we can say decline in the internal prices, okay, or there will be a change in the internal domestic prices. So again, this type of a concept is definitely, I'm going to mark this is this. Then for this we have effect of tariff on domestic prices, so that is represented by the Metzler effect. Okay, Stopler-Samuelson theorem you can definitely find out directly as the effect of tariff on the factor prices. Okay, and then you have last is your immeasurizing growth theory, which is the effect of growth on the terms of trade. Now this is a significant concept which has last been seen I think 2 years back, and also not in this particular way. However, immeasurizing growth concept is a very important concept with relations to international theory, and definitely some concepts related to that can definitely be asked. Again, Ripchinsky's theorem has been and Metzler effect has been have been two concepts which have not been asked lately, and which is why it becomes a very potential concept for you all to revise, go browse through, and you can take down all the various aspects like assumptions of Ripchinsky's theorem, what is the output and what all that. So that is definitely going to give you an insight कि आने वाले समय में क्या आ सकता है. ठीक है, these types of highlights can give you potential future questions. Okay, we of course cannot determine the pattern and everything, but same question can be asked like an assertion and reason, or can be asked in a conceptual way, so you can remember that. Okay, immeasurizing growth theory was first identified and propounded by Professor Jagdish Bhagwati. It's a very famous concept which basically says that when along the growth or gain in the economy, when there is an unfavorable terms of trade, okay, so at that time the problem is going to be that the gain which is happening or the growth of the economy which is happening, the unfavorable terms of trade are going to overpower the gain, and it is ultimately going to totally decline the gain or growth that has happened, and which is known as immeasurizing growth theory. Okay, so that is the last one. So the correct answer for this is first one. Yes, we have, I think, correctly put it. Okay, so here we go to the next question. Okay, all right, now this is a relatively simpler one. This is a relatively simpler one, wherein you have to just mark when we start reading the international economics theories, we always start from Adam Smith, and then go about, you know, Adam Smith, Ricardo, Marshall, Haberler, Heckscher-Ohlins, Topler, Samuelson, Ripchinsky. So this is like a chronology. Okay, so the best way of learning such theories which are in chronology is to enlist them. ठीक है, लिस्ट बनाओ कि इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमिक्स में यू हैव these theories given by these people. Okay, लिस्ट बनाने से ये होगा कि whenever such a match the following question comes, you directly without any confusion know कि कौन सी theory किसने दी है. So before they make a question, you yourself make a note out of it. So separately, as a homework, what you can do to learn such type of theories along with their propounders is very easy. Make a list of, for example, in international economics, if there are a set of theories, okay, or in consumer behavior theory, there are a set of theories, or when we talk about macroeconomics, then you have the hypothesis, consumption hypothesis. So there are a set of theories. So such set of theories, excuse me. Okay, so such set of theories should be enlisted in your registers and should be read every day. Register sir mein likhna nahi hai, you have to read them every day, like religiously, so that it is, you know, fixed in your eye and you can definitely solve the questions which are very easy ones. Okay, right. Okay, for if you are doing IGNOU from IGNOU microeconomics and you're having it hard specifically with relations to mathematical, you can definitely join in any of the courses by us for econometrics and all, so that it will be easy. Other than that, you can definitely mail us so that we can definitely give you a very realistic approach to it, that how you have to strategically go for specific microeconomics questions. Okay, now we have absolute advantage theory, absolutely given by Adam Smith. If agar यहाँ पे comparative advantage hota, तो it would have been given by Ricardo. Okay, right. And then you have a very, again, factor proportion theory. Okay, proportion means what? Endowments. So endowments matlab Heckscher-Ohlin. ठीक है, so here you have this. Now B, A is your 3, A is 3 over here also and here also. Okay, but B is 1 and B is 1 here also, very doubtful. Okay, now the last resort is offer curve and opportunity cost. Now opportunity cost has been directly given by Haberler. Okay, opportunity cost theory by Gottfried Haberler. Okay, so D is 4 and it is only there over here, so the correct answer is 2, and many of you have given it correctly, so kudos to you all. Okay, right. Also, Marshall's offer curves are very famous with respect to international economics. They are the basics and foundations of all the various curves that are made. Locus of the pair of export-import quantities which are desired at a certain price ratio, which definitely becomes your offer curves. And with relations to offer curves, many a times Marshall-Edgeworth, this term is used, and whenever you also learn Marshall-Edgeworth, then also learn Edgeworth box diagrams. Okay, these are two very basic and foundational aspects of international economics. Okay, so this is what is the correct answer, and let us move on. Okay, now there was a small error that was found in the question paper itself. There was a small typing error, I suppose. Okay, instead of Carl Sachs, which is the major propounder of population theory, Karl Marx was written. So I have changed it over here. Okay, initially, if you find it in the paper, you will find it Karl Marx, but I have purposely changed it because we understand, okay, this is a basic understanding, so we understand that there was Karl Marx which had to be written, okay, and because Karl Marx also has a certain theory which has stages, okay. Karl Marx population theory does not exist. Okay, so I'm just going to unmark it now. With reference to population theory, C.P. Blaker's theory is very, very important. Okay, C.P. Blaker's population theory has been recommended, and because it has 5 stages, and it is very, very important for learning also. With respect to the 5 stages, I believe that you must have gone through such a diagram wherein you have these 5 stages. There's this diagram which is there, which is something like this, you know, which is, this is death rate, also known as mortality rate, and then you have um, something like this, steep fall, and then goes below the death rate, and this is your birth rate, also known as fertility rate. Okay, so like this, you have 5, you know, stages which are given by C.P. Blaker's theory of population, and Karl Marx has given 4 stages, so directly goes over here. Okay, and Landry, you know, has been not asked very much. Adolph Landry is another population economist who has provided with 3 stages of population, and the last stage of population by Adolph Landry is also known as the concept of depopulation and stagnation. Okay, so this one has again popped up very recently, so you can go through this concept very nicely. Okay, and of course there are 3 stages, and Professor Sidgwick's optimum population theory has also been popped up very recently, so again go through this. Okay, so over here, what is the correct match then? A is 3, and A is 3. A is 3, so definitely then you can just look at this. It's very simple. C.P. Blaker is 4, so the correct option is 3. Okay, the correct option for this question is 3. Okay. All right, a very interesting question which is asked over here by Rishta. How to manage net studies at the same time when doing the masters simultaneously. Very interesting, and I would, you know, the maximum knowledge that you gain is in the masters, because it's the masters, right? Now, I understand that when you are in the masters, you specifically are very much involved in dissertation and thesis and a variety of other things like internships, and which is why it might be very problematic for you all to take full control of this examination. So I recommend personally, do not take a gap between anything, you know, that after I finish my masters, then I'm going to go for UGC net examination. No, if you plan that way, then probably it would be like an overhang, you know, because the most prepared you are actually in the masters. So what you can do is prepare the syllabus. Syllabus is the core, syllabus is the Bible, syllabus is the Gita, syllabus is the manual for you all to first of all analyze very, very properly. Okay, once you go to the through the syllabus, you will understand that अच्छा इसमें से maximum चीजें तो हमने करी हुई हैं, the only things that are left are, you know, have to be done. So which is going to give you a positive incentive to learn more. Now masters is the only time, is like the last leg of your education technically, because after that it is only your choice that you want to do PhD or you want to do something else. That is your choice, but till masters it is, you know, compulsory for you all, specifically if you want to crack the net examination, right? So which is why the most prepared you are going to be is only when you are actually preparing for your masters. When you are going to be prepared for UGC net, aram se you can crack your masters, because it only requires you to explain things, but things that you already know of can be easily explained, right? So I would prefer and I would suggest to you that you go with this pride, with a lot of positivity. Okay, so manage your hours, manage your time, and be very very optimistic about it. Also, along with time management, घंटों बैठ के पढ़ाई करने से ही क्रैक हो जाएगा ऐसा नहीं है. Do the smart work also. For example, when you start learning things, for example, when you start learning, let's say, international economics, like I said, enlist the theories. Try to find out the maximum thing that you can do, okay, while you are preparing for your MA. ठीक है, so उससे क्या होगा, you are going to directly be preparing for your examination subconsciously. Okay, so maximum things you're going to cover आराम से. It would be only some concepts that you have to then later on pick up. Okay, now moving on to the next question that we have. Again, this is a very simple question and a very important question. Simple because this way it has not been asked quite recently. अभी तक इसको conceptually ही आया है. So the very important thing for you all to understand is that next time you might get a question which with relations to permanent income hypothesis or relative income or absolute income or life cycle hypothesis. Conceptual questions you may get. Okay, this is only the part wherein you have to match it. Okay, again, like I said, chronology helps a lot. Enlisting these theories would help you a lot in solving such questions. You know, for those people who have enlisted already, will have these questions as like a cakewalk. Okay, so quickly, permanent, we start from the very first, like the chronology wise. So the very first in the chronology is absolute income hypothesis, which was given by John Maynard Keynes. So C is 2. Okay, now find out where is C is 2. Now imagine your luck, if you know 1, you know everything. Okay, so again, the best way or the merit of enlisting things. Okay, now after absolute income hypothesis, these are various consumption hypotheses and you're going to find these in macroeconomics portion. Okay, so absolute income hypothesis के बाद आता है relative income hypothesis, and relative was given by whom? Relative was given by Dusenberry. Relative income hypothesis was given by Dusenberry, and the things that you're also going to find out is 2 things which have been given by James Dusenberry, which are your Rache effect and demonstration effect. Okay, so many a times questions relating to these 2 have or can be also asked. Okay, and then you have the life cycle hypothesis, which was given by Ando and F. Modigliani, and finally permanent income hypothesis was given by Milton Friedman, the monetarist. Okay, right. So yes, exactly, Nayak, you have given the correct chronology, right? So typically you can understand this. Permanent कहाँ अब मुझे वो करना पड़ेगा. A is 3 where, हाँ, तो we have already stated this ना. So number 4 is the correct answer. Okay, so such type of questions would be a cakewalk if you do what I say. Now okay, I believe this is the last second one. Again, now there is a simple small concept over here. Now these concepts again have been given from microeconomics. Okay, so from microeconomics, abhi हमने देखा, from international economics we had 2 match the following, and from microeconomics we had 2 match the following, right? The very first one that we did and this one. That was of course oriented to welfare, but again that is a part of microeconomics only. Okay, now something that we know of very nicely is Chamberlain, Sweezy, and Stackelberg also we know, and Fellner also we know, but Fellner actually has not been asked very recently. So Paul Sweezy has given the very famous King demand curve. Paul Sweezy, B is 2. Where is B? 2. Ta-da! Right? And of course, we have then Chamberlain, which, okay, now very interestingly, for Chamberlain, they have actually given small group model. Now, this becomes a very confusing term, because many a times while reading, you might not get what exactly means by the small group model. So apart from the monopolistic competition, Chamberlain had also given the oligopolistic theory. So Chamberlain's oligopolistic theory, or the Chamberlain's theory for oligopolistic market, wherein he has given a model, a small model for a closed economy, which is known as small group model, has been given over here. So actually, technically, Chamberlain has not been associated in this question with regards to monopolistic competition, but with regards to oligopolistic competition, that he has also given. Okay, so which means you require more reading with reference to small group model and reaction curves. Other than that, uh, you know is very much understood, right? So even in the price leadership, what are the various kinds of price leadership? Dominant price leadership, barometric price leadership, all such things have to be gone through. So the second stage, okay, this is the last question that we have. So quickly coming back to what I was telling you all, the second point after you enlist things, okay, after you're enlisting, the second thing is to make um, your notes with regards to the subtopics which have been given, which is known as keywords. So after you enlist all these various things, like theories you have enlisted, years probably you have enlisted, maybe you can enlist books also if you want. Okay, this time a variety of questions were asked with regards to statements. So some statements were given, and then they were asked ki kisne bola tha ye question, ye statement. So of course it is very difficult to identify such statements, because you cannot read everything. But yes, if you look at the keywords, then definitely you can have a vague idea, and probably you can mark the correct answer or correct option. Okay, so keyword finding would help you. So what you can do is make mind maps. Mind maps means what? Let's say, let us take the example of, let's say, Chamberlain. Now, until now, probably you must have known that Chamberlain was known for what? Monopolistic competition. Okay, but probably you must have not known that he's also known for oligopolistic small group model. So now from Chamberlain, you have two trees. You have monopolistic one, and you have the oligopolistic one. And then you can have other chains, like what has he stated in oligopoly, what is the key term he has used in oligopoly, and what is the key term he has used in monopolistic. Okay, so this is the way, like product differentiation, price differentiation, and all that. So this way, from making mind maps, you can also gain more knowledge and retain more knowledge. Okay, so last and final question for you all is this one. Now, critical minimum effort theory has been given by Harvey Liebenstein. Okay, very important growth theory. And then you have the neoclassical growth model. A neoclassical growth model means the growth model which is based on the supply side mechanism, but which of course has a lot of modifications, which was given by Robert Solow. Okay, we have a very important theory again C.P. Blaker has come, demographic transition theory of 5 stages, given by C.P. Blaker, very important theory. And finally, age of high mass consumption, again W.W. Rostow has given the 5 stages, which start from the traditional economy and end to the age of high mass consumption. So that is given by W.W. Rostow. Okay. All right. So we are going to do something for the Maharashtra set as well, definitely, and we'll provide some insights to that. Definitely, definitely. Um, right. Yes. So we have A point which goes where? A is 4, and A is 4 only over here. So definitely this is the right answer. Okay. So This is, oh, it's not erasing. All right. So this is where we end with today's discussion, and I really, really hope that it was a little insightful for you all. Keep learning economics, and download our Ecoholics app so that you can get live updates about various interesting things that we are going to upload, and various interesting videos that we are going to upload specifically for your benefit. And keep glued to various other concepts that we are continuously posting on various social media pages, so that you keep your interest alive in economics. It is just that economics is a very dynamic subject, and you can learn a lot of things, right? From your daily routine things to a variety of things that can give you an insight about international substance. Okay, so which is why, keep learning economics, and stay very, very inquisitive. You all take care of yourselves and your families. Thank you so much for today's segment. I hope that this session was insightful for you all. We are going to meet the next weekend with some more questions with regards to this paper, and along with that, we're also going to bring some new insights to how to crack UGC net paper to economics. Thank you so much, and have a good night.